It started with a sore throat. A 12-year-old girl took a Tylenol. By morning, she was dead. Over the next 48 hours, 6 more people across Chicago would suffer the same fate. Their only connection? A common over-the-counter painkiller laced with poison. What followed was one of the most chilling and mysterious cases in American criminal history. The 1982 Chicago Tylenol Murders. Mary Kellerman was just 12 years old, a bright, curious girl from Elk Grove Village. Like many kids her age, she caught colds often, but nothing ever serious. On September 28th, she complained of a runny nose and sore throat. Her parents gave her 1 extra-strength Tylenol and tucked her into bed. By dawn, Mary was gone. That same morning, 27-year-old postal worker Adam Janus collapsed in his Arlington Heights home. Doctors initially believed he suffered a heart attack. But then, his brother Stanley and Stanley's young wife Teresa both died shortly after taking Tylenol from Adam's medicine cabinet. In the following days, the death toll climbed. Mary McFarland, Paula Prince, and Mary Reiner, all vibrant, healthy individuals, all dead within hours of taking a painkiller trusted in millions of American homes. September 28th through 30th, 1982. Chicago was plunged into a wave of silent terror. Victims collapsed without warning. First responders were baffled. There was no visible trauma, no illness, just sudden, agonizing death. And then the connection clicked. Tylenol. Nurse and public health investigator Helen Jensen visited the Janus home. She found the Tylenol bottle partially full. Something didn't feel right. She handed it over to investigators. Deputy Chief Medical Examiner Edmund Donahue instructed investigator Nick Pichos to smell the capsules. The scent of bitter almonds hit immediately, a telltale sign of cyanide. Toxicology reports were conclusive. The capsules contained potassium cyanide, in doses hundreds of times greater than the lethal limit. All signs pointed to tampering, but by whom and how? Authorities discovered that the tainted Tylenol came from different manufacturing plants in Texas and Pennsylvania, making factory contamination nearly impossible. The bottles had been purchased from various stores across the Chicago area. This meant the killer had tampered with them after they hit store shelves. Suspects emerged. Roger Arnold, a dock worker with erratic behavior and a fascination with poison, had once worked with the father of one of the victims. He even possessed books on cyanide, but he was never charged. In a tragic twist, Arnold murdered a man he mistook for the person who had reported him to the police. He went to prison, but not for the Tylenol murders. Then there was James William Lewis, who sent an extortion letter to Johnson & Johnson demanding $1 million to stop the killings. He knew exactly how the tampering could have been done. But was it a confession or a ruse? Lewis served 13 years for extortion, but was never charged with the murders. His DNA never matched evidence found on the bottles. He died in 2023, still maintaining his innocence. The key evidence was circumstantial. A surveillance photo showed victim Paula Prince purchasing the Tylenol, and just behind her, a man with a beard. Authorities believed he may have been the killer. They launched a massive manhunt, but the bearded man was never identified. The FBI even tried psychological profiling, releasing the location of Mary Kellerman's grave to lure the killer. It was watched 24/7. No one came. The city of Chicago fell into chaos. Fear of random death haunted every home. Parents feared Halloween candy. Grocery store shelves were emptied of painkillers. The entire nation was on edge. Johnson & Johnson pulled 31 million bottles from shelves, costing over $100 million. They changed the world overnight, introducing tamper-proof packaging and triple-sealed bottles. It was the birth of the safety seal era. To this day, no one has been charged in the original Chicago Tylenol murders. The killer walked free. The case remains a terrifying reminder of how one person, with no connection to their victims, can unleash chaos through a simple, everyday object. The Tylenol murders weren't just a crime. They were a turning point in how America viewed safety, medicine, and trust. And somewhere, someone still knows the truth.